Hello, everyone. This is Phoenix Tremaine, and today I'm going to be doing a review of The Irrational, episode 2. And this episode is called The Smell Test. Now, I know most of my fans are part of my soap fam, but I know you guys still watch movies and TV after the soaps go off. So I'm going to be giving this a try and giving you more TV and movie reviews. And I've already done the Irrational episode 1. So I'll put a link for you to be able to watch that if you haven't seen it already. And so here we go. Oh, I'm sorry. Please hit the like button and the subscribe button. It's free to do. And it helps the channel out a lot. So please go ahead and hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. So we're going to talk about The Irrational, episode 2. In this episode, a reporter named CJ has been poisoned and she probably won't survive. So she asks Alex to help her find out who did it. It happened while she was out getting information from an informant, and Alex's team is able to track the informant down by offering him something free online, and he'd have to give them his address to get it. They figure out when they see him wearing a Chess Club t-shirt in a picture that the t-shirt itself was also a free gift. Blah, 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 blah. I know they try to be extra smart on the show, but the writing needs a little work. And if it's not the writing, maybe the actor. Right now I'm not sold on his 2 assistants. I actually don't like them. So we're gonna move on, because there was a part of the show that made me want to basically immediately turn it off because it was so stupid. But I said I got to do a review, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish watching. But under normal circumstances, I probably would have just turned the show off. But I'm giving this show the 4-episode test. Usually within 4 episodes, you can get the flow of how a show is going to be. And the pilot, it sort of gets you in there, but people are really getting to the stride of the characters. But by the 4th episode, the show is going to be what it's going to be. So here's the part where I immediately lost interest. When Alec did the exact same thing he did in episode 1 and went to a potentially dangerous location on his own, his wife, who's an FBI agent shown in the picture, is, on the way, just like last episode. She was on the way, so you knew he had help coming. But now, he's in danger. So it gets worse. For a guy that's supposed to be a genius, he sees that someone has broken into the gate. He also sees a muzzle flash and the sound of a guy being shot. What does he do? He calls out the man's name like he's in a horror movie where something's wrong, but the character draws attention to themselves by going, "Hey, is that you? Bobby? Bobby. Oh, what's this? This wet stuff on the floor. Oh, it's blood. It's red. Maybe it's paint. Bobby, where you at?" And the killer's just like standing there. But anyway, once again, like a horror movie, he starts walking towards the guy who's been hit. And in a WTF moment, this genius does something that, somehow doesn't register him. And in his mind that there's a shooter just a few feet away, the person starts firing at him and he starts negotiating. You don't really want to do this. You got to think this out. The police are in the way. You're going to waste time getting rid of me instead of getting away. I was like, just shoot him. I hope this isn't a recurring theme in every episode where he starts explaining to the criminal why he shouldn't do criminal things. But anyway, I know he's supposed to be super smart and that he likes to reason with people, but I really need him to learn how to fight or how to shoot. If he's going to be putting himself in dangerous situations every episode and not wait for backup, then I'm going to need him to learn how to fight. On to something I did like. There was a subplot on the show about the reporter CJ and her strange daughter. And she tells Alex she doesn't want him to tell the daughter what's going on. But his research assistant Phoebe chooses not to respect the woman's wishes. But in a twist, when she tells the daughter about her mother being in a hospital, the daughter basically goes and tells her to take a hike. She's like, stay out of it, and Phoebe's left looking stupid. So if you've ever had a person who didn't mind their business, so in my personal life, there was a moment in time where I was estranged from a relative. And when I was back out there in the dating world and people ask you, like, so how are things with the family, blah, 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 and you tell them the truth, all of a sudden, they're like advocates for people they don't even know. Like, you have no idea what this person did to me to put me in this position, this mindset where I'm like, we need space. But they become insistent that you must repair, you must forgive, you must this, that. I'm like, you have no idea what I've been through. We just met. It's like, leave me alone. So I can actually feel the daughter, even though it's a TV show. They've got 38 to 42 minutes to bang out this story real quick. There's certain storyline beats that always happen in on shows like this. People who watch these types of shows, like when you watch Law and Order, you know everything that's going to happen for the most part. Occasionally there's a twist moment or something, but for the most part, we all know what's going to happen. It's easy comfort food TV, and you know that this mother and daughter is going to bond by the time the credits hit. They're going to be like hugging it out. But I had liked for the moment that this woman was like, you don't know anything about me and my mother's relationship, so why are you all up in it? Because it's not that I'm saying that I wanted the mother and daughter to be estranged and for them not to eventually get together. To me, the path to that happening, I actually wish, because I do like the character of CJ, who's the reporter that was poisoned. So I actually would have wished it was like a 3-episode arc or something where you may have figured out who done it. But, since, her and Alec could be forming a friendship or whatever, and you could see the mother and daughter repair their relationship over a couple of episodes and some misunderstandings and working it out. But I'm kind of off script because I kind of wrote out exactly how I wanted to play out. So I'm going to get back on my script real quick. But that's not the route they went. I was a little disappointed that they made the subplot about Phoebe and how she was trying to fix her relationship with her own mother in her own way. And by trying to get the two of them together before it's too late. I understand it. We've seen this a million times before. We've seen that play out. I knew what was coming and I knew why she wanted them to do it. But anyway, I really thought the execution of how it suddenly became all about Phoebe and her tragic backstory. I didn't feel that it was earned narratively. I also don't like the wishy-washy other assistant, Rizwan, who doesn't really have much faith in the people around him from my point of view. Like, he's always asking, oh, so Alec does things this way? Instead of him just learning. Of course, I knew it would work out in the end, but I feel like it could have been an interesting plot if they allowed it to play over a few episodes. I really like the character of CJ and hope to see more in the future. I see I'm back on my script. Because the story played out in one episode, we got a rushed version of CJ reunion with her daughter, but I wanted to know what happened. I wanted to hear them discuss their pain, acknowledge each other's strengths and weaknesses, and then let the forgiveness lead to healing. If I was the writer, this is the route I would have went. I would have did a deep dive into the characters so that although I know they're not supporting characters in the story, but I feel like they should be. You know, for a guy like Alec having an investigative reporter on his roster, I think that would be a good thing. But anyway, yeah, I know that's a lot to ask in the time allotted, but once again, I would have played this out over a couple of episodes. As for the who done it, the person who did it was once again very obvious. So let me switch pictures real quick. I know I didn't really say anything about the sister because she don't really have much to do in these episodes other than say, I hope you and your wife get back together and ex-wife get back together. I hope it happens in this episode. I was seeing a lot of reconcilable differences. I had more hope for them in the first episode, but back to my script. The sign, as for the whodunit, the person who did it was once again very obvious to me. I knew who did it, and the actor hadn't even had a full minute on the screen. The only thing I got wrong was the motive. I thought the motive was going to be unrequited love or rejection, but they went with jealousy. The science is probably real, but it feels phony. You mean to tell me because she was watching a small ball being passed back and forth that she didn't see that big old bear? To me, the bear would have been a thing to catch my attention, no matter how much they told me to look at the ball. I see this bear, bigger than the people on the screen. You think I'm not going to notice it? You don't think that bear is going to obstruct my view? However, if it had been a small bear that got passed around briefly about the size of the balls, like a little teddy bear, that would have been more believable to me rather than some guy in a bear suit just walking across the screen. But back to something I did like. I was pleasantly surprised by the deduction of the couple's engagement being fake. Why? Because I didn't think about it. It didn't cross my mind. So that was a aha moment. And I like that feeling of aha, especially when I can figure out who did it within 30 seconds. So, having a moment that I didn't, really think about that turned out to be very important to the plot. I like that. However, unfortunately, even though I'm still going to give the show a chance, I'm still going to watch 2 more episodes. I might even watch the whole season, but I'm going to review at least the first 4. I'm still going to end with something I didn't like because the show ended basically with something I didn't like. I rarely use this word, but the scenes of him explaining people's feelings to them seems forced. And in the end, it came off like, ready for this word? Mansplaining. Yes, I know how women complain about men who mansplain their feelings to them, and he's sitting there mansplaining uh, Phoebe's feelings to her, and this is why you feel. And I was like, I know the scene was supposed to be bonding and him giving her some guidance, but the only thing that came to my mind was, why is he mansplaining to this woman about her own feelings? But anyway, maybe if the character was asked him directly for help or understanding, it wouldn't feel that way. If Phoebe went to him and was like, look, Alec, you know, sometimes the feelings and emotions get a little mixed up for me. And I know that you're the guru and you know everything about irrational behavior and blah, blah, blah. What do you think about my situation and why I can't remember these good things about my mother? It sounded like somebody opened up a textbook and started just explaining the situation. It didn't feel genuine. It didn't feel organic to me. And as a writer and director and producer, and maybe one day you guys will actually get to see, like, locally, people have seen my stuff, but I've even won an award. But, one day maybe I'll hit it big enough where everybody will see my productions and there's going to be some guy or girl on YouTube sitting there deconstructing my show, like they know everything. And I'll get a little criticism back, but to me, the things that I'm saying is constructive criticism. I'm not just nitpicking. I'm giving you explanations of why I feel the way I feel. And hopefully, if anyone that sees this video, because you never know who's watching, trust me, I've had celebrities watch my stuff before and not have a good response for it. I'm talking to you, Michelle Williams, but of Destiny Child, who, let me know how she felt about something I typed on Facebook, which is why I'm much more careful, because you don't realize a person that I'm older now, so I realize people are still just people. They're not objects. And so if she ever sees this, Michelle, once again, I apologize. You know, I was out of pocket, but I was a little younger. But anyway, I'm doing constructive criticism. Hopefully, if someone from the production ever sees this, they'll take some notes, and maybe, he won't be mansplaining, and maybe they'll do a little better with, I'm saying I like specific characters. I want to see more of those characters. I'm sure I'm not the only one. So, I'm saying things that hopefully is considered constructive, not negative. So I am going to see you in the episode 3. Tonight, I'm going to be watching a new show called Found that's going to be on NBC. In that one, I'm excited for because I saw the trailer. The commercials, I was like, I ain't watching that. But when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, it's like Sounds of the Lambs. I think I'll give this one a try. So yeah, I'm gonna be watching Found. Let me know if you will be too. And I'm gonna be watching some more shows. Hopefully you like my reviews, whether it's TVs or movies. And I will see you in the next video.